This is AF Cast, the video game podcast. And here's your host, Malcolm Sheaver.
A new season of Apex Legends just dropped, and it brought along the very definition of death, Revenant. Revenant is our new legend in the game, and he also brings along with him the company that made him, Hammertech. They set up new bases around World's Edge, which causes the surface to crack. They also brought along with them a new weapon to try out for yourself. This week on AFCast, we are going to be talking about the new season of Apex Legends, Annihilation. I'm here with Bryce M, and yeah. So we're first going to be talking about the new legend, which is Revenant. So in our episode where we talked about leaked legends and the Halloween update, which you should definitely check out, we talked about Revenant as one of the possibly leaked legends. And so then he was able to have the passive that he actually has now, which is Stalker, which he's able to crouch walk faster and able to climb higher up walls than any of the other legends can do. And then he was also able to, in the leak, he was able to throw like a poison dart that would do damage over time and that could actually ping people. And then he also had a poison bomb that was his ultimate that would do like an area of effect type damage that was like caustic and also ping people. And that was like his regular stance. And then he also had his shadow stance that you could do where he actually had the abilities that he has now. And that is that his tactical is Silence, which is throwing a device that deals damage and disables enemies' abilities for 10 seconds. And then his ultimate is the Death Totem, which essentially you just drop this, like, I mean, it is a totem, but I don't know how to describe it quite well, like a diamond-like thing that's kind of just floating there. The little thing that is
like above Sims' heads.
Yeah, it looks exactly like that. Except for, like, scary and red and dark and death. And if you have to walk up to it and you have to hold X on it, or whatever your interaction button is. We play Xbox, so it was X for us. And if you die, instead of getting downed, you end up coming back over to the Death Totem with 1 health and full shields.
Actually, the thing about it is when you use the Death Totem, when you take damage, it doesn't take from your shields. So if you're in the state where it would revive you, you only take damage to your health, not to your shields. I noticed that when we were playing the other day.
Really? I'm pretty sure I was still taking shield damage.
I noticed multiple times where I would get into fights and my shield would stay all the way up and all my health would go and my shield would stay the entire time.
All right. Well, you only come back with 1 health anyway. So, but yeah, so whichever one of those is true, the one that Bryce is saying makes more sense where you just lose your health instead. But it does have a certain period of time that it lasts. I'd say it's about, 45 seconds maybe? Like a minute?
30 seconds to a minute, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Until it runs out. And I'm pretty sure once you use the Death Totem, you cannot use it again.
No, I used it again the other day.
Really?
One day I was playing Revenant when we were playing, and I actually used the Death Totem twice.
Oh, all right. And then Revenant also has the low profile ability that like Wraith has, where Revenant will take plus 5% damage because of his reduced hitbox. So, yeah. So I haven't personally played Revenant yet because for some reason when we started playing again, it got rid of all of my credits in the game. But Bryce was able to buy it with Apex coins. So, tell us your experience with that.
Well, I play characters like Pathfinder and stuff a lot where it's a lot faster pace, and that really changes with Revenant because his thing is more around stealth and playing very tactically. And I really like that in a character. It's just, in my opinion, Apex, to my playstyle, hasn't fit that character well enough yet. But with Revenant, I actually really like the character because you have that faster movement speed when he's crouched and stuff, so you don't make nearly as much noise, because that's something I notice a lot is the faster moving characters and stuff that I like to play, very, very loud. But that increased movement speed while you're crouched is really nice because then you can be quieter when attacking people. And the silence ability, the only thing I really have to say about that is it's really nice that you can hold that, like you can hold your hand out ready to fire it and have your gun aimed in the other hand. So you could fire with one hand and use the silence ability with the other at the same time. So it's a very small thing, but it's really nice and it feels very user friendly. And then with the death totem, that's kind of with the team thing, but I just feel like it's a little overkill. Like not the actual ability, but just the fact that it's very obvious that someone used it. It's makes a noise, it's very bright, illuminates everything around it.
You can't destroy it though.
Yeah.
Which I've tried that before, so but enemy teams can use your death totem, which sucks because like we ran across a group who was using a Revenant that was playing with two groups.
Yeah, it was two teams together. So we were facing, as a team of 3, we were facing 6 people, which they had that Revenant then where
they used the death totem up.
Yeah.
And so all of them just kept respawning back, and then they just absolutely slaughtered us. So that was fun. It really wasn't, actually, but especially since it was ranked. That's the thing that pissed me off.
Yeah.
On from Revenant, we have the new weapon, which is the Sentinel Sniper Rifle. And so something with the Sentinel Sniper Rifle is that there's now a new ammo type, which is sniper ammo, and I don't think really anybody likes it. Like I feel like I understand why they put it in, but I feel like there's so many reasons why you should just keep it separate ammo that instead of making it all into one ammo like shotgun ammo is, that it's just like, I guess you can make the argument that like since you have the charge rifle versus the longbow, like it doesn't make sense to have heavy ammo versus like the energy ammo that the charge rifle would use. I guess you can make the argument that the sniper ammo is just able to be changed between like matter states, I guess, of like having either a hard piercing, the heavy ammo, or you can make it into more of an energy type substance for a sniper rifle, and there's only a certain amount, so that way it's only really useful for sniper rifles. But you also have to make really specific arguments then for that, rather than just having energy ammo and stuff like that. And I understand because sniper rifles are really powerful in Apex Legends, and so if you get an energy weapon, or if you get like a heavy weapon or a heavy AR and a heavy sniper rifles, like the longbow and the hemlock, like you can have a really OP setup because you don't need 2 types of ammo, and you don't need much ammo for the longbow. So essentially, you can save a lot of storage space. And so there's like an extent that I understand why there's sniper ammo, but at the same time, it's just like, why?
I also think that they did sniper ammo so people can more fluidly switch between weapons. So let's say I wanted to get a charge rifle through a game, but I found a triple take to begin with. So I pick up, or not a triple take, like say a longbow. I pick up a longbow to begin with the round, or the game. And I get sniper attachments on that longbow, but then when I switch to the charge rifle when I find it, I need to find this whole new ammo source now too.
Yeah.
So you can't really, you never used to be able to do that where you hold attachments on a weapon if it's a sniper rifle because of the different ammo types that they took.
But that's why they could have also added the Sentinel and just made it heavy ammo, because they have the same thing with ARs. Like you have the light ammo ARs, you have the energy ARs, you have all that. And so if they just moved the G7 Scout, because they moved the G7 Scout out of the sniper rifle category and moved it into the AR category, kind of as more of a marksman rifle than a sniper rifle. And so that means that it's now can only hold AR attachments and stuff like that. So it can't have long range capabilities that it used to. But I mean, it still has double tap, which is nice as well. But it's like, if you kept it so that way because then there would be 2 energy ammo types and 2 heavy ammo types. And then you'd also have the Kraber, obviously, which is the special ammo type. then it would also make just a lot more sense, because then you'd just like have same thing with like ARs. Like you'd have the R301 versus the Hemlock, or same thing with SMGs where you have the R99 versus the Prowler. Like, I think the challenge there is having to find that new ammo source when you're switching between weapons. So I feel like if they didn't add the Sentinel, then I can understand it even more with that argument. But since they added the Sentinel, and that also seems like a heavy weapon type, then I feel like they could have just made it heavy weapon ammo, and then all of that would have been fixed. So, but that's just my personal opinion. So, but overall, the Sentinel sniper rifle is really fun. It's kind of like a baby Kraber, because it's a bolt action rifle, and so it's actually pretty close to the longbow. It's just that it does higher damage, and it shoots slower, has less ammo. But one special thing about it is that you can load a shield battery inside of the Sentinel, and then it'll do a ton of more damage.
It'll get disruptor rounds that like the alternator in that used to have.
Yeah.
Where when someone has armor or shields on, it will do increased damage to that. I think like 1.5 times or something crazy.
It's basically a Kraber shot then.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure that you're accurate with that. Like, I'd recommend that more for PC than I'd recommend it for anything else. But it's really powerful when you can get the shot down, and really helpful. But obviously then you'd need shield batteries for your health as well, for your actual shields. So it's all debatable whether you want to use it or not. And if you're not good with shooting sniper rifles, then just don't even think about it. So, so then we also have the map update. So there were some things that were added with the new update to make the map not boring for the season, so it's not the same type of play. It's still World's Edge, so the map is still the same. And they are also planning on switching it back over to Kings Canyon halfway through the season. And I don't know if it's going to be the original Kings Canyon or after everything was added to Kings Canyon before they switched to World's Edge.
Or if it's going to be a King Canyon with even more added to it.
Yeah, that could also be the case. Like, it could be even after the Leviathans and that have moved on even further or something like that. I don't know. Some other crazy event that's happened, which will probably be the case, honestly. But the things that were added was, one, probably the biggest thing there is the Planet Harvester. And this is just this huge spot in kind of by Train Yard. If you go through that Train Yard tunnel, that giant open space, that's where the Harvester is.
It's very, very near to the dead center of the map.
Yes, it is. And don't try landing on top. We tried. We died because we couldn't get off fast enough because it's that high in the sky. And it's like, it has good loot, but there's not really a lot of loot, in my opinion. There's 8 supply bins, just like in the main center area. And then there's some other areas that are branching out of that. So I feel like going there alone is really good, but if you have any sort of other squad that goes there, it becomes really difficult unless you take out that other squad to actually get loot. But then you're also wasting health and stuff like that, and time and everything. So I feel like overall the Harvester really isn't a good drop. It is a good late game place to go to, or even just an after drop place to go to. Because it has good loot, and it is a good fighting spot, but not a good initial drop in my opinion. And then there is also a big event that happened at Capital City, which is by Epicenter, the giant ice spikes that are sticking out of the ground. That city near there has now split in 2. There is a giant, I don't know, really, like a chasm, I guess, that...
Lava fissure?
Yeah, is just filled with lava in it. And buildings have fallen over, crashed. Like, there's tons of debris in the streets now. One of the shorter construction is now completely gone. Like, it ate up that construction building. And the main reason that they apparently did this was because that was the biggest point of interest in the game last season. So they decided to split it into two so that way more squads could go there and just have a different play style of fighting. So that way it wasn't the same thing over and over again for the people who went to Capital City, which I can understand, but I can also understand them people moving away from that because they're mad that their main drop went away.
I would say, I think that's actually part of the reason was because, as we'll get through later, they were kind of trying to draw people to other locations as well, not just these points of interest. So I think it was to give the overall area less loot for people, because it's destroying, as he said, the construction building and multiple other buildings where you can no longer get in and loot. So I think that takes part of the draw from people. And when you get into fights in this new capital city, there's 2 choke points. The only way to get from Fractured East to Fractured West is go way around the edges of the lava fissure, or take a zip line or a fallen building across. Those are the only 2 ways to get across the fissure.
There is another way that they added because of that reason, which is the updraft. Because they wanted to make it so that way you weren't subjected to like Caustic and Watson, where they could trap you in those spots, especially when you're running out of time and circles coming in and you could get into a really heated fight. Basically a whole bunker situation from Kings Canyon. And so they decided to like add it so that way instead of just jumping to your death into that lava pit, it'll actually provide a boost where you go into third person and you start flying up very slowly. You do take damage. And I forget what the tick rate is for the damage.
I don't know the tick rate, but it's a guaranteed 25 damage.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed 25 damage. I know that I hardcore jumped in there. Like, I tried it with Octane and tried to get as high up in the air and into there as I could. And I'm pretty sure I only took 75 damage because I had purple shield in it and I still had 1 bar left. So you raise up in third person, but it makes you a very, very easy target. But it is another way to get from Fraction East to Fraction West, or vice versa. Even in other places as well, because there are some more of these chasms that you can find around the map, around the Planet Harvester as well. So yeah.
The developers were originally actually going to make an insta-kill if you fell in these.
Yeah.
But then they decided that would be very sucky for people who accidentally fell in or what have you. So, but they still wanted to punish people. That's why the updraft does damage and makes it so slow, because it makes you actually have to think about, do I want to do this? Do I want to subject myself to basically being a piñata for everyone to shoot at me?
While taking damage from burning. Yeah.
So it makes people think about it as opposed to just instantly murdering them.
Yeah, so the last place that they added, which is actually northwest kind of Epicenter, at least I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Is Survey Camp. And this is one of the newer, smaller areas, kind of like Drill Site. It's a little smaller than Drill Site.
It's a fair bit smaller than Drill Site. There's 4 buildings.
It's like if you cut Drill Site in half, that's pretty much Survey Camp. I'm just trying to figure out a good analogy for it.
Overlook, maybe?
Maybe, but that's not a lot of separated buildings.
Yeah.
But essentially, this actually is kind of a reminder of going into the training mode, because they have weapon racks there where you're able to pick up a weapon off of this rack. So if you ever played training mode before and you see the line of light ammo weapons, that's kind of the same thing here. So I've seen Hemlocks, R301s, Flatlines. I've seen a longbow on there one time. We haven't gone there much, so.
Yeah. But the developers have said that they did this to provide an alternative to dropping at these high loot premier spots Capital City was before, because this guarantees you get a weapon. It guarantees you get a fairly good weapon at that.
But you only have the base ammo. You don't have you don't get any reserve ammo dropped around it like you would if you were to just find a weapon laying on the ground.
But it kind of is meant to draw people, as opposed to Capital City, where you could go through 3 buildings, not find a weapon, then die. This guarantees you will get a weapon.
So they also changed how ranked works a little bit. So obviously everyone's reset again. And they're also adding a master tier, which I'm pretty sure comes, which is basically like the new Apex Predator, except for whoever's in the top 500 of that master tier is now going to be the Apex Predators.
And this is per platform.
Yeah, so PC, Xbox, PlayStation. Is it on Switch? I don't think it's on Switch.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway. But yeah, so that's all that we really have to say about Ranked Series 3. And so now they have the anniversary login gift as well, because it's about a year now. Actually, it's pretty much exactly a year now. And so if you log in between February 4th and February 11th, right now this episode will be coming out February 10th, so you have today and tomorrow for listening to this, this is a reminder, to receive this anniversary gift. And essentially you get a year 1 origami flyer charm and a year 1 loyalty badge. There are 3 tiers for the loyalty badge, depending on how late you were to joining or not. So like our group pretty much got the game immediately, so we all got the top tier badge. And then you also get 10,000 XP for your first match of the day, which is apparently available each day if you log in during this time. So definitely get this, because then you'll be able to get those credits quicker, and even more Apex packs as well. So also some other things about loot. So we obviously have the new sniper ammo, and then we also have a new attachment, which is the extended magazine for sniper rifles, since they changed energy ammo, and they changed it all over to sniper ammo, so you can't use those previous extended ammo or extended magazine stuff. So now they added one specifically for sniper ammo. And energy ammo now gives 30 ammo per pickup instead of 20 because of how rare it is. I don't understand why they don't just make it more common, but...
Well, they've already said it's because the only energy ammo you can find is next to the weapons. And since they...
You can find energy ammo otherwise. I'm pretty sure you can, at least.
Oh, most of the ammo that people find is next to the weapons. Pardon me. But most ammo that people are picking up is next to the weapons, and there's only now 2 energy weapons. Because energy ammo was already hard enough to find.
Yeah.
So then they even limit it further by having less weapon spawns with it. They are just increasing that so people have more access to it with these fewer weapon spawns.
Yeah. And then they also made it so that way the L-Star is now an LMG. That, actually, I think it's an LMG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an energy LMG. And it was essentially replaced with the Devotion. So the Devotion is now a weapon that you can get in the care packages instead, and only has a specific amount of ammo. And I understand that completely, because if you ever got the attachment for, I can't remember what the attachment is called. Turbocharger. Then you could absolutely destroy people with the Devotion. And it was really powerful. So now they just have it as a care package weapon that automatically has turbocharger on it, I'm pretty sure at least.
Yeah.
And it demolishes everything. So, and the L-Star sucks still.
And to play into that, where the Devotion now automatically has turbocharger, they removed the turbocharger attachment from the game.
Yeah.
So now you can't get that for a Havoc if you were to have it. You can only put select fire on the Havoc now.
And so they also removed extended magazines for energy ammo along with the turbocharger. So yeah, we also have a couple legend updates. So for Bloodhound, so downing players as Bloodhound now adds 5 seconds to the Beast of the Hunt timer. And it's actually possible to exceed the starting time if you get enough kills with him, which is kind of stupid, but amazing at the same time. He was already powerful in my opinion, but they didn't have to buff him even more. And then for Crypto as well, they fixed stuff with Gibraltar's dome shield, so you can no longer stick it on the crypto drone. Same thing with you can no longer destroy a friendly's Gibraltar shield on accident anymore, which is nice. I didn't even know that existed, to be honest with you, but that's just because our group never plays Gibraltar, so
Yeah.
there were also some bug fixes and quality of life fixes that there always is in game updates. But besides that, that's the entire update. I would really recommend trying out Revenant. He looks super fun to play. He does look kind of like my play style, so I'm really excited to play him. And yeah, so game on.
Find AFcast on Instagram and Twitter, @AF Community, for any updates on future podcast episodes. If you want to join the community Discord, find the link in the description or on the website, afcommunity.com. Special thanks to DJ Augie for making the music for this podcast.